Hey, what's up? This is Amazing Grace here. It's time for an XL edition bumper pickup video. This is all new Riot Division stuff. Thank you to them for sending it for this video. There's a bunch of SS19 things here. We've got 3 jackets, a pair of pants in 2 colours, and a belt as well. So there's quite a lot going on, and it's clear from that alone that Riot Division are focusing on that outerwear stuff still, even if some of it is a little bit lighter weight. So we'll go through everything individually, do some on-body shots, some initial impressions, and then at the end a little bit of a wrapping up of what I feel about the season in general, and a little outfit with everything together. So first up, the wrapping parka with Symbiosis, and I've put this first because I feel like this is the most Riot Division piece of everything here, and I say that because of the very clear transformative functionality which you'll notice on the front of this. There's quite a few different pockets on the front here in typical Riot Division style, and these can be zipped off to give you not only 2 different looks for the jacket, but it can turn into a bag as well. They do that in exactly the same way as the winter jacket that I looked at before. These pockets I feel are maybe a little bit more voluminous than those ones were, but nonetheless, this is still very much, yeah, you can use it as a backpack, but it's not an ideal scenario, shall we say. The material of the pockets and the jacket in general is pretty thin and pretty light, and initially I kind of felt like it didn't really feel that premium to me. However, once you wear it for a little bit, the softness of that material and the pliability becomes a little bit of an advantage. It certainly feels very comfortable to wear. It also gives it a little bit of a flowy quality as well, which is good when this jacket is deployed into the longer parka length. I think the transformative nature here is pretty good functionality because it is so simple. There's no weird toggles or strange system to change it between 2 lengths. It's just got some little snaps on the inside, and you undo those to drop the jacket down to the longer length. In the longer version, I think it looks better undone because it has this kind of flowy quality to it, and the lightweight material helps with that. So this has a few distinct looks, which I think is good. You can have this in the shorter configuration, done up with the pockets attached, and then it looks very protective. It's very multiple pocket techwear kind of style, or you go for the longer length, rip the pockets off, undo it, and then it has this very lightweight, more flowy quality to it. That material means it's unlikely to be as protective of some of the other things out there, and also I feel like this is something that would not be that abrasion resistant, could rip quite easily. But this is a summer jacket designed for warmer weather, so sacrifices do have to be made. There is some hood adjustment functionality on this as well, which I find quite bizarre, to be honest. In the unzipped configuration, it looks pretty much just like a normal hood, looks decent, although you can do this up at the sides. There's 2 zips, one on each side, and when you do this, it pulls the whole jacket up to help conceal your face and give you some extra protection. It's very simple functionality. You've just got the 2 zips to pull the whole jacket up and help protect your face, which I guess is a good thing, although downside is that I do think it looks pretty ridiculous. It gives you this weird kind of goblin man look. It pulls the shoulders up, and you can feel it doing that as well. So it totally changes the silhouette of the jacket, makes you look a bit weird. I feel like this is really for emergency use only, which is fair enough, although a lot of people with these techwear jackets, they do like having that high neckline, they like that concealment aspect, and it's not really going to be possible with this jacket without looking a little bit silly. Onto the vest jacket now, and I'm quite excited about this one because I feel like this is my favourite Riot Division jacket to date. And I say that not only because of the colour, which is this really nice grey-green, reminds me a bit of the Stone and Shadow Project stuff that's been coming out recently, and also some of the Guerrilla Group things from last season as well. But again, because the transformative functionality on this jacket, which Riot Division do love to do, as you guys know, is extremely simple and thus easy to use, and I think more effective than some of the more complicated things that they've done before. There is a tactical vest attached to this jacket which can be worn in 2 different configurations. Either you can have this facing forwards, and it does as a utility vest might, and you can see those nice pockets on the front, you've got the storage capacity of those, or you can wear it facing backwards and then zipped up at the back, which conceals those pockets, and it makes the whole jacket look much more minimal and much cleaner, and reveals 2 large vertical pockets on either side of the jacket. Both configurations look pretty distinctive, both of them have ample storage space, and it's pretty easy to change the jacket from facing forwards to facing backwards. You can even do it while it's on with a little bit of practice. Aesthetically, I think both configurations do a lot of things right, and both of them will look pretty good with other techwear stuff, I think. If you have the vest facing forwards, then it's got this little bit of a military look to it, and all those pockets that everyone loves so much, but then you can take it back black, it's a little bit more minimal, a bit more low-key, and extremely wearable. You could just chuck on any pair of black pants and black shoes basically, and you got a cool little outfit with an interesting coloured jacket. As you guys might have seen, I've already taken a nice picture with this one, and I feel like I'll end up wearing this quite a bit, so expect to see it again. I think the material feels quite nice here as well. It's got a little bit of structure to it without being too rigid, and I think feels surprisingly durable for a SS piece. That's not to say this jacket is perfect though, there's a few things that I'm not 100% on. When you've got the vest facing backwards, you can definitely feel the weight of that towards the back. It feels like the jacket is kind of pulling back a little bit. You do get used to that, but as an initial thing, it's a bit like, oh, this feels a bit weird. I find the collar slightly odd because it zips up most of the way and then you've got a 4-button fastening. That kind of slows things down a bit. You can't just easily do it all the way up, so I would prefer it if there was just a zip that went the whole way up. But again, this is something that allows for a couple of different looks. You can either have undeployed button section at the top or have it done up. So I guess that's why they did it, but I think from an ease of use perspective would just be better if they kept it simple and had the zip going the whole way. Also, this jacket specifically comes up a little bit small. This one is a size L, whereas the other ones in this video are a size M, and normally I wear size medium, so I would say size up if you do go for this jacket. But yeah, $250 or thereabouts total I think represents pretty good value for this jacket. It's solid, it does the job, I think it looks nice too. Next up is the Anorak, and this has a similar vibe or use case to the Rosen X one that we looked at a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month or two actually, but there are quite a lot of key differences. The material of this one is very, very thin. It doesn't feel that great, but I would say treat something like this as a poncho, something that you would throw on just when you need it, rather than something that you'd want to walk around all day in. Part of the reason I say that is that this Anorak is packable, and it does pack up into a pretty small and lightweight, easy to carry little bag. So that's definitely something you could consider doing. It makes it very easy to take this around with you. The neck has a couple of cool different looks, again reminding me of that Rosen X one with the asymmetric collar detailing. You can undo one side of it and have it kind of going sideways, or you can take them both down, or you can leave it up, and then you've got that little bit of neck protection. And the big zips which do that also allow you to access the pockets. There's like 2 levels almost to pockets that you can put your hands through, so there's a pretty decent amount of storage space in this for an Anorak. This has the ridiculous goblin hood as well, and it's perhaps even more apparent on this than it was on the Symbiosis Parka. When you have this zipped up on the hood, it really does pull the entire Anorak up, and it just makes it look like you have no neck, basically. This and the material definitely give me a emergency use only vibe, so I think this is something that I'm much more likely to take packed away in a bag and get out if it happens to rain when I don't expect it to, rather than go out wearing it and intending to wear it all day. This doesn't come in that much cheaper than the Rosen one, and I feel like that's probably the better buy for this kind of scenario, unless you really are desperate to have something like this with a hood, or something that does have that super thin material and is going to take up the least space as possible and be as lightweight as possible. Belts that dangle on both sides are pretty popular in techwear, so I was pleased to see Riot Division coming up with their own take on this. The strap itself is fairly basic, but it has some webbing detailing going around it to give it a little more structure. On the front there's this nice fidlock buckle, which I think is bigger than most fidlock buckles, at least bigger than the other Riot Division one that I have, which makes it a little bit tricky to fit around some belt loops, so make sure you check that out before you pick this belt up. It's got a rubber Riot Division logo on one of the dangly bits, it's got some D-rings on there as well, and it pretty much does exactly what it says on the tin, and who doesn't love a fidlock belt? There are 2 different colours of the 4-pocket pant here. I'm mostly going to focus on the black ones because I feel like those are the most wearable, but I'll show off the green ones a little bit too. Both the black and green versions have an interesting contrast between the pant legs and the pockets, both because of the material, which is different, and on the green ones there's a colour difference too. The material on the pockets themselves has a bit of a sheen to it, and it's quite thin feeling as well, although the pant legs themselves, the rest of the material on these pants, I'm actually pleasantly surprised with. For an SS18 pant, this is something that feels quite durable. They're heavy duty feeling, they've got some structure to them without feeling like they're too rigid or too uncomfortable. They've also got a light taper to them without being too skin tight, neither are they too baggy. Although I would say that these are perhaps a little bit too long. I'm wearing a size large here and I'm like 6'1", 6'2", and I feel like these could do with being about an inch shorter. If you're going to tuck these into some big military boots or something, which would probably go quite nicely with these pants, then that would help alleviate the issue. Or of course you could just get these hemmed, that might be something that I end up doing. The front pockets are very jean-like, they're very horizontal, and they have a decent bit of volume to them, which is good. The back pockets are these zipped vertical ones, which is similar to the Antwon Leve and Mes 2, similar to the ACG woven pants as well, although these ones are a little bit too vertical, and that means that it can be a little bit tricky to get your hand in there, although that does mean that anything that you put in there is going to be extremely secure, as will the things in the front pockets. You're not going to have anything falling out when you sit down, which can be a problem with some pants. Things are also going to be pretty safe in the 4 pockets on the leg, which again are pretty voluminous, and they're secured with a little Velcro fastening on each one. Apart from the front right one, which additionally has a zip too for easy access, then you can just whip it in and out super easy. Overall, I quite like these. They feel pretty durable and they look quite wearable as well. I'm sure these will fit very nicely into a Techwear wardrobe. The green ones are a little bit weird. I think I'm going to find those a little bit less wearable because of those contrasting color pockets. They're definitely going to suit a more military inspired look though. I could see this working really well with lots of different olive tones, get across that patchwork feeling, but with a touch of futurism as well. But black is the safe option for sure, and just over $100 I think is a pretty fair price for a pant like this. Together these things I think make a pretty decent outfit. I've used a couple of my favorite bits from this pickup video, namely the vest jacket, the samurai belt, and the black version of the 4 pocket pants, together with the old reliable Vapor Max utility. I think the overall result is a little bit futuristic, it's pretty cohesive, and it's got some interesting elements that you might not find in other outfits, like those differently textured pockets on the pants, like that vest sitting over the top of the jacket, which is quite unusual to see, especially in this color. Riot Division are clearly not straying too far from their usual output. It's clear that transformative features are very much the order of the day, although I feel like in general here they are moving towards things that are more effective, in that functionality and those transforming things are becoming a little bit simpler and a bit easier to execute. Particularly with that vest jacket, I think that's really effective implementation, and it does a good job of giving 2 looks, 2 different kinds of functionality with one jacket. So you buy one thing and then you can use it in a variety of scenarios, and I think that is exactly the kind of thing that Riot Division are going for. These features still aren't always hits though. You've got that goblin hood thing that they're trying out for this season, which I don't think really works that well, but again, it's always cool that they're willing to experiment and try these different things, because some of them work, some of them could be refined into better implementations in the future. So I think in general this season represents a bit of an upward trend for Riot Division. I think in general things are hitting the mark a little bit more than they have done in previous seasons, and I think that's good because they are in that important mid-price segment between the cheap and low functionality Taobao stuff and the more expensive premium brands that we've all come to know and love, like Nike Lab ACG, like Antwon Leve, and all those kinds of brands. But the question remains, of course, what do you think of this season generally, and what is your favorite piece from this video? I'm hoping that a lot of people are also going to be fans of that vest jacket. As I say, that's definitely the top one for me, but your mileage may vary. There might be something else that you prefer. Either way, let me know down there in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like. And that is all for this week, so thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you next time with another one. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce your name, but shout out to you. I think you pretty much nailed it with exactly the look Garuda are going for. And shout out, yes, although I think that video specifically would be quite difficult to make because there's not that much that really replicates the look of the Alpine jacket, I don't think. I'm certainly up for doing another budget Techwear jacket video as I did about a year ago. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you haven't got your fix yet, or there's some videos that you haven't watched of mine yet, then they're probably going to be going up there, so you can check those out. And if you haven't subscribed yet, then definitely consider doing so, because there's going to be new videos every single week, every Sunday, 6 PM GMT. Actually, no, 6 PM BST, because now we're in summertime. Anyway, new videos every week. You can click the button and then you can find out as soon as they go live.